Best SRPG 2024 or strategy RPG in tactical turn-based gameplay always needs a high concentration to play. It feels like we play chess but in a different way. That's why the player who love to play a strategy game will fit perfectly with this kind of game. The game has started just when the tactic ogres, Final Fantasy Tactics and Fire Emblem become so popular, and right now we have seen so many new tactic turn-based games on 2024 with a better graphic quality and gameplay. Please help this video get 200 likes, please. Top 10 Best Tactical RPG Games Mobile iOS 2024. Best SRPG Game Tactic Turn-Based for Mobile 2024. This video is presented by Cobotman Adventure. If you are looking for a casual adventure game with a robotic as the hero, then this game would be good for you then. The gameplay mechanism is we only have two buttons, which are attack and jump. We can hit the enemy easily because the enemy's pattern is quite easy to predict. But watch out, when you touch them, then your gold will decrease. Try to get a special bonus stages to earn more in-game gold. This game is available on Play Store right now and you can download this game freely. I put the link on the description. You can support this channel and send us a special thanks. The Play of Genesis. The Play of Genesis. This game will become my top list of tactical RPG games. The game has launched in a specific region right now, that's why the game's language is quite difficult to understand. But actually, the game's graphic already tell us how amazing the game will become. I feel like this game is open up the strategy tactical turn-based RPG becomes so much interesting then. The Play of Genesis has an interesting gameplay which we can play the game much easier without thinking so much. Just by tapping the enemy, then your hero will come closer to the enemy directly and we can pick a different action of basic attack or skill. The combat mechanism is every hero will have 5 max limit of gauge bar meters. It will become an indicator of the skill damage and the skill costing a difference of an energy. Make sure you take the right hero based on the element advantage system to deal more damage. I love how the whole gameplay is full of voiceover while in the dialogue or even on the combat. This is the best new SRPG tactic games turn-based for mobile 2024 Android iOS. Desta, the Memories Between. Desta, the Memories Between. Finally, someone created a new concept of strategy role-playing games, so the game's mechanism is quite interesting and fun to play. So we need to pick up the balls as our weapon before landing a hit into the enemy. We need to find a certain ball and drag the ball manually into the target. Sometimes our teammate cannot move to get it, so we need to pass the ball to our allies. Always try to visualize the directions and make sure the weapon hits the enemy, because if not, then the enemy has a bigger chance of killing you. Actually, this tactical turn-based RPG has a better storyline. It's about a young girl that is looking for her memory. The story is quite sad, but I'm pretty sure the gameplay will become way more fun and interesting. Anyway, you must check the enemy's ability just in case it for predicting the enemy's skill in combat. Best Game RPG Turn-Based Strategy Games for Mobile 2024 by Netflix. Archan. Archan. I think all players would agree with me if this game is becoming a top tier SRPG turn-based game tactical RPG on mobile 2024. This is one of the best graphic SRPGs that I have ever seen in my life. The gameplay has a variety of features that will create a surprise result in the game. No one tactic RPG game has the best concept combat than this game. I'm pretty sure about it. Even you will get so many surprises while playing it. The gameplay of Archan is some of the heroes will have a great support to the other hero, like we can defend the teammates. The combat mechanism lets the player to get so many action like a counter attack, unit attack, extra attack and many more. Actually, those actions will unleash randomly, so we cannot wish which action will be. This is a collectibles heroes grade base game, so we can collect new more powerful heroes through gacha and summon. But don't worry, the gacha rate is really great at all. We will get a strong lineup easily and conquer the game. Archan is the best strategy RPG tactic games for Android iOS 2024. Astertataricus. Astertataricus. These RPG games look pretty like Fire Emblem in gameplay. So this is a turn-based tactical RPG game that has two different visuals, which while we are moving the character in combat, then the visual will become a pixel art. But then when our hero comes into the fighting, then the visual characters become 3D. I love how the combination two different visuals that really match and interesting at all. The combat mechanism lets the player see how much the enemy's HP will be left. So make sure your hit rate becomes 100%, so you will not miss an attack then and become an absolute damage. At a certain time, we could do a combination attack between two heroes. It will grant your damage multiple times. Seriously, the graphics are really good. It has the next level with a great action camera perspective. You will notice how wide the world is. This is the only one turn-based RPG tactic with an open world concept, so we can explore the world and follow the main missions. There are so many cutscenes of dialogue, but unfortunately the language is not in English yet. We need to wait for this game to release globally then. Best Tactic Strategy Game RPG Android iOS 2024. Master of Knights. Master of Knights Tactic RPG. This is a simple tactic RPG game. The arena is really small, so our point of view is easier and able to see the whole character position from this angle. Anyway, I love how the gacha rate is pretty high. I got so many super rare heroes in my team's lane up, which I can pass through the stages much easier. The combat mechanism is we will deploy a certain number of heroes, but not every single hero will have a chance to do an action each depending on the AP potions we have. So we need to create a strategy to win the game and move the characters wisely. Every hero is able to launch the skill afterwards, receiving 3 hits by the opponents. There is a card support system that we can use to weaken the enemy by reducing his strength. Remember to put your warrior type in the front line because it has a lot of HP. Best Tactical RPG Games Android 2024. TenK Paradox. TenK Paradox. If you love to play an anime SRPG with full of waifu characters in chibi design, this game would be good for you then. But honestly, the gameplay is quite slow, I feel. I think the developers should speed the normal speed rather than to tap the speed up buttons. It will look unnatural anyway. The combat mechanism is every hero's skill will cause a variety of TP. The TP will recharge automatically while on each turn. Every character will be able to move, but we will get easier by seeing the floor's color, which will help us in showing if our hero can do an attack or not, even on long range or melee combat. The game has collectibles heroes base, so we can collect new heroes through gacha, and luckily for a newbie we'll get a free 1S tier grade with a high attacks. The game has a very small size for a turn-based tactical RPG games. It's only about 800 MB. Best new tactic RPG small size for Android 2024. Girl Frontline 2 Exelium. Girls Frontline 2 Exelium. This is a new game tactical for mobile. It's been released but only available in a certain region only. The game has a new concept, which is it has a shooter game with a turn-based tactical, but few characters have a sword of her weapon as well for the melee combat, but mostly the hero will equip the gun as the primary weapon. The combat mechanism is we can hide behind the object to avoid the direct attacks, and we can decrease the damage by placing the hero into the safer spot. Some of the enemies have a barrier, so we need to break the barrier first to deal through damage first. Try to attack from behind to give an extra damage then. I love how the game has a high visual skill effect when the hero unleashes the powerful skill. During the storyline, we will see so many cutscenes visual. No wonder that this RPG tactic game has quite a big size actually. Girls Frontline 2 Exelium is one of the top tier anime tactical turn-based strategy games for Android 2024. Kalpa of Universe. Kalpa of Universe. I remember playing for this game for 3 years already. And hopefully in 2024, this best tactical game RPG, Kalpa of Universe, will release globally. The graphic is really insane. It has a high visual in combat and even in the world map. The game is purely made with a Chinese theme base at all. Just look at the characters' appearance and also how the game's name is Chinese at all. I wonder if the game will change the name in English when it's released globally. Actually, I'm impressed how the developer is sustainable on the region locks and still exists and is playable until now. The gameplay is every hero will show us the weakest and the strongest element advantage just before we land the hit. So as a player, we need to focus on the thing to see how the power will increase significantly by following this system. The skill will recharge automatically after the cooldown time finish. The combat visual is pretty insane and the action movement is so realistic. Best turn-based tactical RPG games for Android 2024. Sword of Confalaria. Sword of Confalaria. I have high expectation for this SRPG, especially the game that pretty much look like a Tactic Ogre and Final Fantasy Tactics, or even better in music and graphic visual. The combat mechanism is really stunning and the character appearance is a top tier design. I would love to play this game right now, but my question is how is the storyline will become, because it's still not in English yet. So we need to know about the score of the story and how the developer delivered the story into the player. But seriously, the music background already told me about how feeling of each scene. Sword of Confalaria is a new brand tactical RPG games turn-based with a full of strategy gameplay. We'll get a new hero along the way or through summoning it. The combat mechanism is totally classic and really makes me feel so nostalgic and happy at all. We can push the enemy out of the arena or even push the grenade barrel and aim into the target. Absolutely the best game tactical RPG games for mobile 2024. Equinox 2436. Equinox 2436. More and more new anime style of SRPGs coming up into mobile in 2024. This game should have a several beta testing in 2024. Seriously, game is set into a dark fantasy theme at all. Look at how dark the arena and also the enemy's appearance. The developer has released their new actual gameplay footage and I love to see how simple the game mechanisms are. We don't need to think of the energy, mana points or AP, and the whole skill will unleash by focusing on the cooldown times. The ultimate is the only special skill that has its own special effect while casting it. On TapTap, the game has been pre-registered by more than 100,000 of players, which means it's become one of the most anticipated RPG game tactical for mobile 2024 of Equinox 2436. Prime of Flames. Bonus Prime of Flames. Finally, I put the best tactic RPG games that are playable offline and only require a very low spec phone. Even the game's graphics setting are only able to change the FPS only. That's why I'm pretty sure all kind of devices will run perfectly. The gameplay is very simple. We only need to deploy the hero and replace it just before the combat starts. The combat visual is really simple at all. It doesn't have any special effect, which make the game finish faster and we can save our time a lot then. In the world map, we can recruit more new heroes and join us in the battlefield. There is a long range type and close range combat, so we need to think of the best strategy to adjust the hero's type. Best game RPG tactical offline for Android 2024.